Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into really one of the most compelling questions shaping our future.
Mm.
As artificial intelligence becomes not just intelligent, but, truly autonomous, capable of making its own strategic decisions, how do we ensure it stays safe?
Right. And transparent.
And transparent, exactly, and aligned with fundamental human values. It's a huge challenge, really,
Yeah.
especially when these powerful AI systems seem to be, well, writing their own rules almost.
Yeah, learning and evolving in ways we can't always predict.
Okay, let's unpack this fascinating dilemma.
Indeed. And for many people looking at this, the answer seems to lie in a pretty revolutionary new framework.
Okay.
It marries the absolute cutting edge of AI with the core ideas of decentralization, all powered by blockchain technology.
Right, I think I know where you're going with this.
We're talking about the AI Decentralized Autonomous Organization, or AIDAO.
The AIDAO.
Okay. And look, this isn't just another fancy acronym. It's really a fundamental rethinking of how you govern an intelligent system.
The rethink.
Yeah. And our mission today is to help you, the listener, understand the unique signals, the ways we can actually verify the context within these really complex self-governing entities.
So, how can something be truly autonomous, doing its own thing with its own intelligence, but also be fully accountable and transparent to us humans?
That's the core question, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
exactly what we're diving into today. We'll explore the mechanisms that actually build trust in this increasingly automated world.
Okay, so to really get why AIDAOs are such a big deal, I think we need to take a quick look back at how AI itself evolved.
Definitely. That history sets the stage perfectly.
Because that whole journey, that trajectory, it directly created this need for new governance, right?
Absolutely.
So let's rewind. Think back to the 70s and 80s. AI back then was mostly what we call expert systems.
Right, the rule-based systems.
Exactly. Think of them like incredibly detailed digital flowcharts.
Mm.
Really complex, but predictable.
Their behavior was completely constrained by thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, of if-then rules. Humans had to painstakingly program every single one.
So if you wanted to know why it made a decision,
You could trace it, literally trace it back through the rulebook. You had a clear, verifiable chain of logic.
they were powerful, but only in really narrow areas, like medical diagnosis maybe, or configuring computer systems.
That's right. Very deterministic. Every outcome had to be explicitly defined, anticipated by the programmer.
But they were also quite brittle, weren't they?
Extremely. If a situation popped up that wasn't covered by a specific rule, they just failed, often spectacularly.
Leading to things like the AI winter.
Exactly. Funding dried up because the tech just couldn't live up to the, frankly, overblown expectations it had set for itself. The verifiability was there, but it was limited.
Okay, then fast forward to the 2000s. We get this huge resurgence, the era of machine learning, deep learning.
A totally different paradigm.
It really was a seismic shift, wasn't it? Moving away from hard-coded rules towards systems that learn directly from just massive amounts of data.
Right. Suddenly, with powerful computers and these enormous data sets, millions of images, text documents, you name it, neural networks took off.
And they could recognize patterns humans couldn't even see, leading to, superhuman performance in image recognition language.
Even complex games like Go.
Yeah. And here, the AI wasn't programmed with rules anymore. It was trained.
And that training introduced a probabilistic element. It became less predictable.
So the decision-making process, it kind of emerged organically from the stats, from the data itself.
Which made the why behind a decision much, much harder to figure out.
You couldn't just read the rule book.
Nope. You needed to understand the vast, complex data it learned from, and even then, well, the patterns it found were often opaque. This was the start of the black box problem in AI.
Right. The intelligence got way more powerful, but the verifiable context for its decisions got way more complicated.
Exactly. Which brings us to now.
And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The current peak of this evolution, generative AI.
Like GANs and transformers.
Yeah, generative adversarial networks, GANs, and the transformer architecture, which is behind models like OpenAI's GPT series.
GANs are fascinating. It's like two AIs in competition, right? One trying to create fakes.
And the other trying to spot them.
Exactly. And that competition pushes both to generate incredibly realistic stuff.
And transformers are brilliant at understanding context in sequences, like language. That's why they're so good at text.
Absolutely. And the key point here is these systems aren't just classifying or predicting anymore. They're creating.
creating novel stuff, realistic images, complex text, even new scientific ideas like molecular structures.
Their autonomy isn't just operational, it's strategic, it's creative. They can, in a sense, write their own rules because their outputs are genuinely new, not just pre-programmed responses.
So this whole journey, from deterministic if-then rules to probabilistic learning from data,
Yeah.
to now truly creative and strategic outputs.
That progression means the old ways of controlling things, the traditional top-down models, they just break down.
You can't write a static rulebook for an AI that can invent its own strategies.
Exactly. It creates what you might call a governance vacuum.
A vacuum.
Yeah, where these opaque, centralized corporate structures with their internal politics and limited transparency, they're just not equipped to provide the kind of verifiable, accountable oversight these powerful systems demand.
We need something fundamentally different.
We do, and that need converges perfectly with this other revolution happening in parallel.
Decentralization. Blockchain.
Precisely. For decades, our digital world and the organizations built on it have been heavily centralized. Think banks, big tech platforms,
Single points of failure.
single points of failure, vulnerability to censorship, potential for manipulation by whoever's in charge.
But decentralization flips that.
It flips it. It distributes the data, the computation, the control across potentially thousands of independent participants or nodes.
Creating a system that's just inherently more resilient.
Resilient, transparent, and often more democratic.
And this shift from centralized to decentralized, you're saying this is fundamental for verifying context and building trust.
Absolutely fundamental. Let's break down why. What are the core benefits here that act as these verification signals?
Okay.
First, you get enhanced transparency and trust. On a public blockchain, every transaction, every rule change, it's recorded on this shared ledger,
Visible to everyone.
visible to everyone simultaneously. This radical openness is a foundational signal of authenticity. It builds trust because no single entity can just change the records or hide things.
The verifiability is built in.
It's built in. It fosters accountability right from the start. It's like
Yeah.
every decision is published on a public notice board forever, undeniable.
So it forces verification by default.
Exactly. And tied to that is immutability and verifiability. Once data hits the blockchain, it's cryptographically locked.
Meaning it can't be changed or deleted.
Practically impossible. This isn't just a tech feature. It ensures the integrity of historical records. You get a single verifiable source of truth.
That's huge. So if you want to know what actually happened,
The blockchain tells you, unchangeably. It's a powerful proof of integrity. You know the record hasn't been messed with later to fit someone's story.
okay, transparency, immutability, what else?
Censorship resistance, because there's no central boss controlling the network.
No one can just shut it down or block transactions they don't like.
Not easily, no. It's a signal of resilience against control or suppression.
Makes sense.
And finally, democratized governance and ownership. Power shifts away from a central admin, like a CEO or a government body.
To the community, the users, the stakeholders.
Exactly. This allows for more democratic decision-making about the rules, the future direction. It fosters shared ownership, encourages participation. It's a signal of broad consensus.
So these core ideas, transparency, immutability, censorship resistance, democratized governance, these are the building blocks.
They are the foundational signals we need to verify context and build trust, especially when dealing with AI that's becoming increasingly powerful and, frankly, unpredictable.
Okay. So this is the collision point, as you called it. You take this highly autonomous AI and you merge it with this resilient, transparent, distributed framework of blockchain.
And boom, you get the AI DAO.
An organization that promises to be both intelligent and accountable.
Autonomous and aligned with human values. It's a completely new kind of organizational structure built on verifiable trust, designed for the complexity of governing advanced AI.
Okay, so to really get how an AI DAO works, we need to look under the hood at the DAO framework itself, its operating system, if you will.
Right. What makes a DAO tick?
Think of DAOs as being native to the internet. They don't really exist in one physical place or under one country's laws in the traditional sense.
They live on the blockchain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Owned and managed by their members, with all the rules, all the operations, encoded directly in software, not buried in some corporate handbook. And that software runs on the blockchain, giving it that trustless, transparent, immutable foundation we just talked about.
Precisely, which means their core logic, how they actually function, is inherently verifiable by anyone. That transparency is key.
So let's dissect that. What are the core components? The anatomy of a DAO. You mentioned software.
At the very heart are smart contracts. These are the absolute backbone, the DNA of the DAO.
Okay, I've heard the term, but break it down simply.
Think of them like self-executing computer programs. The terms of an agreement or the rules of the organization are written directly into code.
And stored on the blockchain.
Stored on the blockchain. For a DAO, these contracts define everything. Membership rules, how proposals get made and voted on, how funds are spent.
The whole constitution,
The
basically.
whole constitution in code. And here's the critical part for verification. Because they're on a public blockchain, these rules are transparent and auditable by anyone.
Anyone can go read the code.
Anyone. And crucially, they cannot be changed except through a formal, pre-agreed voting process defined in the code itself.
So it removes the need for human intermediaries who might, bend the rules or make secret decisions.
Exactly. That transparency and auditability is a primary signal of programmatic integrity. You can literally read the rulebook in the code and trust it won't be changed arbitrarily behind the scenes. You can verify the context because the rules are the context.
That's a massive difference from traditional organizations where rules can be opaque or changed by a few people at the top.
A fundamental departure, yes. Then you have the community-controlled treasury.
Not just a regular bank account, right?
No, it's a shared pool of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, tokens that the organization collectively controls.
And how's that controlled? Also by smart contracts.
Also governed by smart contracts. Funds only move out of that treasury if, and only if, a proposal to spend them has been formally approved through the DAO's voting mechanism.
So it's locked down unless the community agrees.
Locked down. It's a powerful safeguard against corruption or just mismanagement. It provides a verifiable financial context. Every single transaction, every bit of spending is recorded publicly.
Like a completely open set of books, 247?
Exactly. And tying into that spending and voting are the governance tokens.
These are the crypto tokens that give you voting rights.
Primarily, yes. They grant holders specific rights, the most important usually being the right to vote on proposals.
And usually the more tokens you have, the more voting power.
Often, yes, though we'll get into different models. But the number of tokens held usually determines vote weight, which obviously impacts the power dynamics. These tokens aren't just financial, they're a signal of direct participation and proportional influence.
Okay, so tokens give voting power. What's the actual process, the proposal and voting life cycle? How is that verifiable?
It's designed to be a transparent, structured process. It usually starts off-chain.
Off-chain, meaning not on the blockchain yet.
Right, maybe discussions on Discord or a dedicated forum, people bat ideas around, get feedback, refine things.
Okay, makes sense.
If an idea gets enough support, a member can formalize it into an on-chain proposal. That means creating a smart contract representing the specific action or change.
Which then triggers the official vote.
Exactly. A defined voting period starts where token holders cast their votes using their tokens.
And for it to pass, you need, what, a certain number of people to vote?
Usually, yes. You typically need a quorum, a minimum percentage of total tokens participating, and a pass threshold, a minimum percentage of votes in favor.
And if it meets those conditions.
Here's the magic. The underlying smart contract automatically executes the decision. If the vote was to send funds, the funds are sent. If it was to change a parameter, the parameter is changed.
No human intervention needed to enact the decision.
None. This automated code-enforced execution provides inherent verification of the outcome. Take Lido DAO, for example, the liquid staking folks.
Yeah, I know Lido.
They use a multi-stage process, initial chats, then maybe an off-chain snapshot vote to gauge sentiment.
Like a bull.
Kind of, yeah. But cryptographically signed. Then, for critical changes, a final binding on-chain vote using tools like Aragon Govern.
So it's layered.
It's layered, ensuring a robust, transparent, and ultimately verifiable process for even really complex decisions. The whole life cycle is designed for verification.
Okay, that makes sense. But you mentioned different voting models earlier. How do those affect accountability and this idea of verifiable representation?
That's a really important point. The simplest and most common is token-based voting. Basically, one token, one vote.
Simple, aligns power with financial investment.
Right, but the big downside is whale dominance.
Whales, meaning people or entities holding huge amounts of tokens.
Exactly. If one entity holds, say, 60% of the tokens, they can effectively control every decision, make smaller holders feel powerless.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very democratic. That feels like a negative signal for whether the decisions truly reflect the whole community's context.
It absolutely can be,
Yeah.
which is why people developed alternatives. Quadratic voting is a clever one.
How does that work?
It lets members cast multiple votes on things they care strongly about, but each additional vote costs quadratically more.
So, like, one vote costs 1 token, but the second vote costs 4 tokens, the third costs 9.
Something like that, yes. The cost ramps up fast. Vote cost equals number of votes squared. This makes it super expensive for whales to completely dominate every single vote.
Ah, it favors conviction over just sheer wallet size.
Precisely. It promotes more equitable influence. It's a signal of fair representation.
Interesting. What else?
Then there's reputation-based governance. Here, voting power isn't tied to tokens you buy, but to non-transferable reputation points.
How do you earn reputation?
Through verifiable contributions to the DAO. Things like writing code, making successful proposals, actively participating in discussions, leading projects.
So it rewards actual work and expertise, not just money.
Exactly. It provides a direct signal of merit and expertise. It verifies that influence comes from contribution, which is a different kind of skin in the game.
I like that idea.
We also see delegated voting, sometimes called liquid democracy.
Where you can give your vote to someone else to cast for you.
Yes. If you're busy or don't feel expert enough on a topic, you delegate your voting power to a trusted representative.
Helps with voter apathy, I guess. Make sure enough votes get cast.
It does, but it carries a risk of centralizing power again if a few delegates become too influential. Needs careful design.
Yeah.
And finally, you often see hybrid models, combining different approaches, maybe weighting votes by both tokens and reputation, or using quadratic voting alongside delegation.
Trying to get the best of all worlds. Balancing different signals of influence.
That's the goal, trying to create the most robust, representative, and verifiable governance system possible.
Okay, so pulling this all together. Why are DAOs, with these structures, inherently better for governing autonomous AI than, say, a traditional company?
Now, think about traditional corporations. Decision-making is often incredibly opaque, isn't it?
Yeah, board meetings behind closed doors, internal memos.
Exactly. You rely on human intermediaries, managers, executives who have their own biases, their own incentives. It's really hard to verify if a powerful AI inside that structure is truly operating ethically or for the benefit of everyone or even just efficiently.
You just don't have the visibility.
You don't. In stark contrast, DAOs are natively digital and transparent. Their rules are in those publicly auditable smart contracts.
Giving you verifiable proof of the operational logic.
Exactly. And every single decision-making process, every vote, every action is recorded immutably on the blockchain.
Creating that permanent, verifiable record.
Right. This radical on-chain transparency is the ultimate verification signal for AI behavior. You can trace why something happened, who voted for it, what the exact rules governing the AI are.
All on a public ledger that can't be fudged.
That level of built-in trust and accountability is absolutely essential when you're dealing with powerful, potentially unpredictable AI systems. It's not just about what the AI does, it's about how its actions and its governance are verifiably structured and monitored. Okay, so now let's flip the script slightly. Let's talk about AI within the DAO. Not just the AI being governed, but AI as part of the governance itself.
Ah, so AI can be a tool or even a participant.
Exactly. There's a whole spectrum. We need to look at how AI can actually help with verification inside the DAO and also how we maintain human control to ensure, contextual alignment.
Right, because you don't want the AI running the whole show unchecked.
Precisely. The most common and immediate use is AI as a tool for enhancing governance.
Making things run smoother.
Basically, yes. A huge problem for DAOs is information overload. So many proposals, long discussions, complex code. It's hard for members to keep up. Voter apathy is real.
I can imagine.
So AI can help boost productivity. Automate routine tasks like drafting initial proposal outlines, summarizing those long-form discussions.
Condensing information.
Exactly. Creating concise content for the community, maybe even streamlining how new members get onboarded. It improves the whole governance user experience.
So it helps humans verify context faster by cutting through the noise.
That's a great way to put it. AI can collapse broad context into bite-sized chunks. Imagine getting a 5-point summary of a 50-page technical proposal.
That would be amazing.
It can even personalize it, maybe turn text into a short video summary, or highlight sections relevant to your past voting history.
Okay, that's helpful. What about more active roles?
Well, still in the tool category, AI can perform automated moderation and preliminary risk analysis.
Like flagging spam or bad behavior in forums.
Yes, but also more critically, doing initial checks on governance proposals, scanning smart contract code for known vulnerabilities.
Before humans spend time on it.
Right. Evaluating potential financial impact against the Treasury, checking if a proposal aligns with the DAO's stated mission. Projects like Aragon are looking into this. It's a direct signal of internal verification, like an automated first pass.
Okay, that's a powerful internal check. But what about AI playing a more active role, like voting?
Now we're moving up the spectrum. AI as a token holder and voter.
An AI agent owning tokens and casting votes. Seriously?
It's being explored. AI agents could be delegated voting power by humans or potentially own tokens programmatically.
Why would you do that?
Well, it could help overcome voter apathy, ensure quorum thresholds are met more consistently, make governance more efficient.
How would the AI know how to vote?
It would be programmed with specific strategies. For example, always vote yes on security audit funding, or vote no if a proposal tries to change core tokenomics without a 90% supermajority.
So it adds a kind of predictable, reliable voting block based on preset rules, a signal of programmatic reliability.
Exactly. Then you can go even further, AI at the center, interacting with core contracts.
Meaning the AI directly manages things, like the Treasury.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
Imagine an AI managing the DAO's treasury rebalancing assets based on market data, maybe engaging in yield farming, but within strict parameters.
Parameters set by humans, presumably?
Absolutely. For instance, maybe it can autonomously execute trades under $10,000, but anything larger automatically triggers a full community vote for human approval.
Ah, human oversight for big decisions?
Always. Or the AI could act as a sophisticated security system, actively monitoring incoming proposals for malicious code or logical flaws before they even reach the voting stage.
Like an automated security guard for the DAO's core functions.
Yeah.
Another signal of threat detection.
Exactly. These are internal checks and verification mechanisms built right in.
Okay, and then you mentioned something that sounded like sci-fi earlier. AI as swarm intelligence. Meta-governance.
Yeah, this is really cutting-edge thinking. Imagine networks of specialized AI agents collaborating not just inside one DAO, but between different DAOs.
How would that work?
Maybe an AI agent representing a, say, rainforest DAO constantly monitors proposals in a larger climate DAO. If a relevant proposal comes up, it automatically casts votes on behalf of its home DAO, or even initiates proposals in the climate DAO.
Wow, so you could have these autonomous interorganizational ecosystems working towards shared goals.
That's the vision. Complex coordination emerging from these AI networks, a signal of emergent coordination.
Okay, but as the AI gets more involved, more autonomous, the control question becomes huge. Who governs the AI DAO then?
That is the paramount question. If an AI can vote, manage funds, execute decisions, how do we keep it aligned with human values?
Right. How do we ensure it doesn't go rogue?
The answer, and this is crucial, is human-in-the-loop, HITL, governance. And not just as a temporary thing while the AI learns, but as a permanent, essential design principle.
So humans always retain the ultimate authority. They're the final context verifiers.
Always. They are the ultimate backstop. It's non-negotiable for responsible AI DAOs.
So even with all this AI autonomy, there's always a human finger near the stop button.
Metaphorically, yes. There are key mechanisms for human oversight that act as critical signals of control verification.
Like what?
Hybrid governance models are key. AI does the analysis, makes recommendations, handles the routine stuff.
But humans ratify the big decisions, especially ethical or high-stakes ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you need emergency override mechanisms, a literal stop button or circuit breaker.
How would that work, technically?
Often it's a multi-signature wallet controlled by trusted human guardians. If things go wrong, they can collectively vote to halt the AI's operations, freeze the contracts, maybe even reverse harmful actions. It's a last resort signal of human control.
Okay, a failsafe.
A failsafe. Plus, human veto power over AI-initiated actions should be encoded right into the foundational smart contracts. The AI proposes, humans can always say no.
And this isn't just a nice-to-have, it's becoming legally required, too.
It seems that way. Look at Article 14 of the EU's AI Act. It explicitly mandates effective human oversight for high-risk AI systems. It says operators must be able to disregard, override, or reverse the output.
So the law is demanding human verification of context and intent.
Exactly. It shows that ultimate accountability has to remain with humans.
But it still feels like a bit of a paradox, doesn't it? How can it be truly autonomous if humans can just step in and stop it?
That's an excellent point. We need to slightly redefine autonomy in this context.
Okay.
For an AI DAO, autonomy doesn't mean absolute unchecked freedom. It means operational autonomy within a predefined and immutable set of human-defined constraints.
Ah, so the smart contracts, the DAO constitution, the override mechanisms, they set the boundaries.
They are the digital physics of the AI's universe. The AI is free to operate, optimize, learn, decide within that universe, but it can't unilaterally change those fundamental laws.
So humans shift from being day-to-day managers.
To being constitutional architects and ethical guardians. They define the verifiable context of the AI's operation. It's autonomy, but it's autonomy in service of a collective human-defined purpose.
Okay, this is where it all comes together, right? All this complex theory and architecture. How does it actually solve real problems? Where does this combination of AI intelligence and DAO governance deliver tangible impact?
Absolutely. This isn't just theoretical. AI DAOs can bring huge improvements in efficiency, security, and crucially, that verifiable trust to sectors that desperately need it.
Let's take an example. What about supply chain and logistics? That industry is famous for being murky, inefficient.
And plagued by counterfeiting, it's often a total black box. An AI DAO could be the operating system to fix that.
How? What does the AI do?
The AI part handles the complex optimization. Predictive analytics for better demand forecasting, real-time route optimization for delivery trucks to save fuel and time, maybe even automated quality control using computer vision at checkpoints.
Okay, AI makes it smarter, but where does the DAO come in? How does it provide that verifiable context?
The DAO provides the immutable framework for trust and collaboration among all the players.
Like the suppliers, manufacturers, distributors.
Exactly. They can all be DAO members collectively setting the rules, ensuring fair practices. But the killer app here is on-chain traceability and provenance.
Meaning tracking the product on the blockchain.
Every single step, from the raw materials to the factory to the ship to the store shelf, it's all recorded on that immutable blockchain ledger.
Creating a transparent, auditable history for everyone to see.
Right. So anyone, a retailer, a customs official, even you as the end consumer, can verify a product's origin and journey with certainty. Think about fighting counterfeit luxury goods or pharmaceuticals.
Or verifying ethical sourcing for coffee beans.
Precisely. You could even use NFTs, non-fungible tokens, to represent unique physical items, creating an unbreakable digital link that carries its whole history.
And smart contracts could automate payments upon verified delivery.
Exactly. Trustless execution. These are powerful verification signals for the goods themselves, ensuring integrity all the way through, building trust in complex networks.
Okay, that's huge for supply chains. What about healthcare and medical research? Another area with big problems, fragmented data, errors, slow research.
Healthcare is ripe for this. An AI DAO could create a truly patient-centric system built on verifiable data. Imagine decentralized, patient-owned health records. A DAO governs a platform where you control your medical data. Use smart contracts to grant auditable, time-limited access to specific doctors or researchers.
So I get a clear signal of consent verification every time someone accesses my data.
Exactly. And AI agents, only with your explicit consent, could then analyze that data for research or summarize it for your doctor without exposing your raw, identifiable information. Privacy-preserving analysis.
What about AI helping doctors directly, like diagnostic tools?
For AI-powered diagnostic tools, the DAO plays a crucial governance role. It oversees the development and training process. Critically, it ensures the AI models are trained on diverse, representative data sets to minimize bias.
Bias is a huge issue in medical AI.
A massive issue. The DAO's transparent oversight with community review and voting provides a vital signal of ethical development, especially important now that the FDA is clearing more AI tools for actual clinical use.
And the research side, you mentioned democratizing it.
Yes. Think democratized medical research and decentralized clinical trials, DCTs. A DAO could allow a global community, patients, doctors, scientists, to collectively fund and prioritize research, maybe focusing on rare diseases ignored by big pharma.
And use AI to run trials better.
AI could optimize trial protocols, find eligible patients faster. Data could be collected securely from wearables and DCTs, making trials cheaper and more accessible. And again, smart contracts govern data use, providing a signal of data integrity and patient privacy.
This sounds incredibly powerful. But it brings to mind that scary real-world example, the pneumonia AI that got things dangerously wrong.
Ah, yes, the asthma paradox. That case perfectly illustrates why the DAO's transparent governance is so critical for verifying the AI's understanding of context.
Remind us what happened there.
Basically, an AI trained to predict pneumonia risk learned that having asthma made you less likely to die from pneumonia.
Which is completely wrong medically. Asthma makes pneumonia much worse.
Exactly. But the AI saw a pattern in the hospital data. Asthma patients historically got more aggressive, immediate care because they were seen as high risk. So, statistically, their outcomes looked better than non-asthma patients who might have been sent home initially.
So the AI learned a correlation asthma associated with better outcomes, but missed the causation, which was the more aggressive treatment.
Precisely. It lacked real-world context. Now, imagine deploying that AI in a traditional, opaque hospital system. It could lead doctors to dangerously undertreat asthma patients with pneumonia.
Based on flawed, context-free AI advice. That's terrifying.
It is. But in a healthcare AI DAO, that mistake is far less likely to get through. The entire development, validation, and deployment process would be transparent.
The training data, the model's design, all open for review.
Open for audit by the DAO community, including medical experts, data scientists, ethicists. A proposal to deploy that specific algorithm would face a vote.
And someone with medical knowledge would immediately spot the asthma is protective flaw.
Instantly. They'd flag it as a dangerous, context-free conclusion. The DAO's structure, transparent, collective, expert-driven oversight, provides the exact safeguard needed. It builds in the mechanisms to verify the AI's understanding of real-world context, preventing these kinds of narrow, dangerous conclusions from being put into practice.
That's a really vivid example of verifiable context being potentially life-saving.
Mm.
Okay, one more area. Civic infrastructure and public goods. Cities are complex. Public service is often stretched.
Right. Urban complexity, funding gaps for public goods, concerns about surveillance with smart city tech.
How can an AI DAO help here?
It can act as the intelligent, transparent, and participatory layer for smart city management. The AI part analyzes real-time data from sensors all over the city, traffic flow, energy use, waste levels to optimize services.
Making the city run more efficiently.
Yes, but the DAO layer is crucial. It provides the governance framework. It allows citizens to collectively set the policies, the goals, the ethical boundaries for how these city AIs operate.
So citizens have oversight and ensure accountability.
Exactly. It ensures transparent decision-making on things like traffic management algorithms or energy pricing policies. It turns top-down city planning into a more collaborative process.
So the DAO provides the civic layer that makes smart city tech legitimate and accountable.
Precisely. Through publicly auditable rules and community governance, it provides that crucial signal of public consensus and ethical operation, ensuring the tech serves the public good, not just efficiency metrics or surveillance.
Okay, the potential is obviously immense across so many fields, but we have to talk about the challenges. These aren't just small bumps in the road, are they? They're fundamental issues that need careful navigation, real guardrails for responsible innovation.
Absolutely. And understanding these challenges is just as important as understanding the potential. They define how we build these systems responsibly.
So first big one, algorithmic bias. We touched on this with the pneumonia example. AI learns bias from data. How does decentralization affect that? Does it make it better or worse?
It complicates it. The core problem is universal. AI reflects societal biases present in its training data. If the data is skewed, the AI's decisions will be skewed.
Perpetuating discrimination, potentially at scale.
Right. Decentralization adds layers of complexity because you might have models training on many different uncurated data sets across the network. There's no single central team ensuring data quality or auditing for bias across the board.
So it could actually make bias harder to spot and fix.
It could, if not managed carefully. That's why mitigation strategies have to focus intensely on verifying fairness and contextual understanding within the decentralized system itself.
How do you do that?
It starts with a conscious effort towards diverse and representative data, actively seeking out balanced data sets. Then you use techniques like fairness-aware federated learning.
Federated learning.
Yeah.
That's where the model trains locally on devices without the raw data leaving.
Exactly. The fairness-aware part adds mechanisms like weighted updates during training to prevent dominant groups in the data from skewing the final model unfairly.
Okay, technical fixes. But what about oversight?
That's where the DAO governance itself becomes a critical defense layer through transparent auditing and explainable AI, XAI.
So the DAO mandates audits.
The DAO's rules should mandate regular, transparent audits of its AI models. The community gets to scrutinize the training data, the model's performance across different groups.
And XAI helps understand the why behind the AI's decisions, opens a black box,
Exactly. XAI tools aim to make AI decisions interpretable, showing why it reached a conclusion. Think of it like getting a simplified map of the AI's reasoning.
which allows humans, auditors, the community, to spot potential biases.
Right, and then debate them and use the governance process to correct them. It's about directly verifying the AI's contextual reasoning and ensuring fairness through continuous oversight. That process is a crucial signal of ethical alignment.
Okay, that makes sense. Next big hurdle, the
Oh,
Oracle problem. Blockchains can't see the real world, right?
correct. They're self-contained systems. They can verify things on the chain perfectly, but they have no native way to access or verify external real-world information, like what's the temperature outside right now, or the price of oil.
So they rely on these oracles to feed them that data.
Exactly. Trusted third-party services oracles bridge the gap, bringing off-chain data onto the blockchain so smart contracts can use it.
But that reintroduces trust, doesn't it? You have to trust
True.
the oracle. Seems like a weak link for a trustless system.
It's a fundamental challenge. If the oracle feeds bad data accidentally or maliciously, the smart contract or AI DAO acting on that data will make a flawed decision. The integrity of the oracle feed is paramount.
Can AI help solve the oracle problem?
It can help, but it doesn't fundamentally solve the core philosophical issue of trusting external inputs. AI acts more like an analytical layer to enhance reliability and provide signals of data integrity.
Ow.
AI can perform anomaly detection on oracle feeds, flagging sudden weird deviations from expected patterns that might signal an error or tampering.
Okay, like an early warning system.
It can also build dynamic reputation models for different oracle providers, scoring them based on their historical accuracy and consistency. This gives the DAO a signal of reliability when choosing or weighting oracle sources.
And maybe even check the data itself.
Large language models could potentially do fact extraction and verification, like cross-referencing data from multiple news sources or reports before an oracle submits it. Adds another check.
But you said it doesn't solve the core problem.
No, because ultimately you're just shifting trust.
Yeah.
Instead of trusting just the oracle, now you're trusting the AI model, its training, the data sources it checked. It's still based on external inputs. The blockchain itself can't natively verify.
So what's the best approach?
It has to be a hybrid system of checks and balances. You use AI for analysis, you use cryptoeconomic incentives to make oracles behave honestly.
Like staking tokens they lose if they provide bad data.
Exactly. But crucially, you need decentralized human governance, the DAO voting as the ultimate arbiter. If there's a dispute about oracle data or a really ambiguous situation, the DAO members vote to decide what data to accept.
So the DAO manages the uncertainty.
It manages the inherent uncertainty by building a verifiable process around potentially unverifiable external truth. It verifies the procedure for getting and validating data, even if the data source itself isn't perfectly trustless.
Okay, a verifiable process for an unverifiable truth.
Got it.
Next, systemic vulnerabilities. Security, scalability, identity. Sounds like a lot can go wrong.
It's definitely a minefield. An AI DAO inherits risks from both AI and blockchain. Security is paramount. Smart contract bugs can be catastrophic.
Like the DAO hack back in 2016.
The classic example. A reentrancy bug allowed an attacker to drain millions of dollars worth of ether, leading to a huge crisis and a split in the Ethereum blockchain itself. These vulnerabilities are real.
And network attacks, like 51% attacks.
Still a risk, especially for smaller blockchains, where one entity could potentially gain control of the majority of the network's mining power or stake, and then rewrite history or censor transactions.
So how do you defend against all this? It sounds terrifyingly complex.
Mitigation has to be multi-layered and rigorous. It starts with independent security audits of all smart contract code, preferably by multiple firms.
Getting second, third opinions.
Absolutely. Then there's formal verification. This is a mathematical technique to actually prove that the code behaves exactly as intended under all conditions. It's complex, but provides a very strong verification signal of code integrity. Bug bounty programs are huge, paying ethical hackers to find flaws before malicious actors do. Architectural safeguards like multi-signature wallets for the Treasury.
Requiring multiple keys to approve spending.
Right. And time-locked contracts, which introduce mandatory delays before critical changes take effect, giving the community time to react if something shady is proposed.
And you mentioned ZKPs earlier. Zero-knowledge proofs.
Yes, ZKPs are becoming increasingly important, especially for things like private voting. They let you prove something is true, like you own enough tokens to vote, without revealing the underlying sensitive data, like exactly how many tokens you own.
How does that help security?
It reduces the risk of bribery or coercion because nobody knows exactly how you voted or how much power you hold. It enhances the integrity and verification of the voting process itself.
Okay, security is one thing. What about scalability? AI needs tons of data and computation. Blockchains are notoriously slow.
That's a major bottleneck. Traditional blockchains like Bitcoin or early Ethereum just couldn't handle the transaction volume or data throughput needed for complex AI applications.
So how do AI DAOs even work then?
Through Layer 1 and Layer 2 scaling solutions. Layer 1 improvements are upgrades to the base blockchain itself, like Ethereum's transition to proof of stake. Layer 2 solutions run on top.
Like rollups.
Rollups are a key Layer 2 technology. They bundle hundreds or thousands of transactions together, process them off the main chain very efficiently, and then post just a single compact proof back to the main chain.
Dramatically increasing speed and lowering costs.
Exactly. These scaling solutions are what make complex, data-hungry AI DAOs technically feasible today.
Okay, scaling is being addressed. What about identity and reputation? In a pseudonymous system, how do you stop someone creating a million fake accounts, a Sybil attack, to game the voting?
That's a critical governance challenge. If voting is just one wallet, one vote, or even purely token-weighted, Sybil attacks are a huge risk. You need ways to distinguish real contributing members from bots or malicious sock puppets.
Oh.
The most promising approaches involve decentralized identity, DID, and on-chain reputation systems. DIDs let individuals control their own digital identity without relying on a central authority.
And reputation, is that like the contribution-based voting you mentioned?
Yes, but potentially more sophisticated. Influence and trust aren't just about tokens, they're earned through verifiable contributions and consistent positive behavior tracked on-chain over time. It becomes much harder and more expensive to fake a good reputation across many accounts than just buying tokens.
Can AI help verify identity or reputation?
It can. AI can analyze on-chain transaction histories and interaction patterns to generate dynamic trust or reputation scores for wallets. It looks for signals of genuine activity versus bot-like behavior.
So AI provides signals of authentic identity and trustworthiness based on past actions.
Exactly. It helps the DAO distinguish between genuine participants and potential manipulators.
Wow. Okay, technical challenges are immense, but being worked on. What about the elephant in the room? The regulatory and legal labyrinth. Do DAOs even have legal standing?
This is arguably the biggest hurdle right now because it impacts real-world operations and liability. Most legal systems simply weren't designed for decentralized, autonomous, software-based entities.
So courts just apply old laws.
Often, yes. And the most dangerous default classification in many places, especially the US, is general partnership.
What does that mean for members?
It means, potentially, that all token holders are considered general partners and can be held personally liable for all the DAO's debts and legal damages, jointly and severally.
Wait, personally liable, so if the DAO gets sued for millions, they could come after your house, just for holding some governance tokens.
That's the risk highlighted in cases like Samuels v. Lido DAO. Unless the DAO has a proper legal structure providing limited liability, every token holder could theoretically be on the hook. It's a massive deterrent to participation.
Absolutely terrifying. And what about the AI itself causing harm? Who's liable then?
That's another huge legal gray area. If an AI DAO managing autonomous cars has one cause an accident, is it the developers, the people who voted for the faulty update, the AI? The law has no clear answers yet.
And then there's the issue of tokens being classified as securities.
Yes, the SEC in the US often applies the Howey test. Many DAO governance tokens, especially if they offer profit expectations or are centrally promoted, could easily be deemed unregistered securities.
Which brings a whole world of regulatory pain, like the DAO
Yeah,
back in 2017.
exactly. That was a key precedent.
So with all these legal risks, how do DAOs achieve legitimacy? How do they provide that contextual verification to the outside world that they're stable, accountable entities?
The main path forward involves creating formal legal structures, what people often call legal wrappers.
Wrapping the DAO in a traditional legal entity.
Essentially, yes. Jurisdictions like Wyoming, Vermont, even Switzerland and Liechtenstein are creating specific legal forms, like the DAO LLC in Wyoming.
What does it do?
It grants the DAO legal personhood, allows it to own property, sign contracts, and crucially, provides a statutory liability shield for its members. Their personal assets are protected.
So it's a pragmatic step to fit into the existing legal system, a signal of accountability to the outside world.
It's a necessary, pragmatic step for most DAOs wanting real-world impact, which leads to what seems like the inevitable model for now, the hybrid decentralized model. Meaning you have a decentralized on-chain core for the transparent governance, the automated operations, the tokenomics. But that core is enclosed within a partially centralized legal entity, like an LLC or a foundation, that can actually interact with the traditional world safely.
So it's a bridge, the best of both worlds.
It's a necessary compromise. Pure code existing totally outside any jurisdiction just isn't practical yet for most applications. This hybrid model provides that crucial contextual verification of the DAO's real-world standing and accountability.
Okay, so despite all these challenges, technical, legal, ethical, conceivably, it's clear this is a frontier people are actively pushing. It's not just theory. Who are some of the key projects actually building this future, building these verifiable, transparent systems?
Oh, the ecosystem is incredibly vibrant and growing fast. There are many players, but some stand out. For example, SingularityNet, AGIX.
What's its focus?
They're building a decentralized marketplace specifically for AI services. The idea is to create an open platform where AI developers anywhere can publish their specialized AI tools, monetize them, and importantly, allow different AI tools to connect and work together.
Creating a more interoperable AI ecosystem, not just walled gardens.
Exactly, fostering synergy. Their long-term goal is ambitious. A beneficial artificial general intelligence, AGI, that's governed as a global commons, democratically, not controlled by a few tech giants. They're building the infrastructure for verifiable AI service provision.
A very different vision for AGI. Okay, who else?
There's Fetch.ai, FET. They focus on autonomous software agents.
Agents, like AI assistants.
Kind of, but more autonomous. Agents that act on behalf of individuals or devices or organizations. These agents can discover each other on the Fetch network, negotiate services, and transact value automatically.
Creating a decentralized machine-to-machine economy.
That's the idea. Imagine your personal AI agent automatically finding and negotiating the best deal for renewable energy for your home, or an autonomous delivery drone agent paying another agent for landing permission. They provide the verifiable framework for agent-based economic coordination.
Fascinating. And data is key to all AI. Anyone tackling the data privacy issue in this decentralized way.
Yes, Ocean Protocol, Ocean, is a major player there. They're building tools for a decentralized data economy.
How do they handle privacy?
Their key innovation is compute to data. It allows AI models to be trained on sensitive data sets without the raw data ever having to leave the owner's secure environment.
So the data stays private, but the AI can still learn from it.
Exactly. The computation goes to the data. This is huge for privacy and provides verifiable data usage. You can prove the model was trained on certain data, see the results, maybe even audit the process, but without ever exposing the sensitive source data itself, a critical signal of privacy-preserving computation.
Essential for healthcare, finance, any sensitive data. What about the foundational layers, the blockchains themselves?
We need infrastructure and ecosystem enablers. Blockchain platforms like Polkadot are designed for interoperability. They allow different specialized blockchains or parachains to connect and communicate securely.
Why is that important for AI DAOs?
It supports scalability and allows for things like on-chain verification of AI decision-making happening on one specialized AI chain to be recognized and trusted by another chain, maybe one focused on finance or identity, makes the whole ecosystem more powerful and auditable.
And tools to make building these things easier.
Yeah, projects like Akasha DAO are working on no-code or low-code tools and launchpads to help more people create AI agents or even AI-driven games and applications within this decentralized framework, democratizing access, making the creation of verifiable AI systems easier for everyone.
So it's clear this isn't just a niche tech thing. It involves developers, researchers, legal minds. But what does this mean for you, our listener? If you're intrigued by this, how can you get involved? It seems like you need to be a coder.
Not at all. While developers are obviously crucial, building this ecosystem is a massive multidisciplinary effort. There are absolutely pathways for contribution for non-developers.
Okay, so for the tech folks.
For developers, yes. Contributing code to open-source DAO frameworks like Aragon or DAO Stack, building better security auditing tools, working on those core blockchain scaling solutions, that's incredibly valuable foundational work.
If you're not a coder, If you're, say, a writer, a manager, a community builder, an ethicist,
Hmm.
what can you do?
Your skills are desperately needed. Non-technical contributions are essential for these DAOs to actually succeed and be responsible. You can actively participate in governance. Join the discussions. Go onto the Discord servers or governance forums for DAOs you're interested in. Read the proposals, ask critical questions, offer your perspective. Your insights matter.
You can even write proposals yourself.
Absolutely. Use your research skills, your strategic thinking to draft and refine proposals. Help shape the DAO's direction. Ensure they're considering all the angles, not just the technical ones.
What about using professional skills?
Many DAOs have working groups or pods focused on specific areas: marketing, treasury management, community growth, partnerships, content creation. Find one that matches your skills and contribute your expertise in that decentralized context.
And education seems key here, too. This stuff is complex.
Hugely important. You can contribute to media and education, write articles explaining AI DAOs simply, create videos, manage social media channels for a DAO. Even just explaining these concepts clearly to your own network helps. By doing that, you're helping verify and clarify the context for a wider audience, making this powerful technology more accessible and understandable. That's a vital contribution. #HAG outro. So when you step back, the AI DAO really does feel like a genuine paradigm shift. It's not just hype. It offers a truly compelling model for achieving verifiable and accountable autonomy. How? By embedding that powerful AI intelligence within a structure of immutable code-enforced rules and transparent collective human decision-making.
And those big challenges we talked about, the bias, the oracle, security, the legal mess.
They're not reasons to give up. They're essential design constraints. They force us to innovate responsibly. They guide development away from potentially dystopian, unaccountable outcomes and towards a future where the signals that verify the context, the fairness, the security, the alignment are built right into the core of these powerful organizations.
It sounds like the solutions require more than just brilliant code.
Absolutely. It needs a concerted, collaborative effort, technologists working hand in hand with ethicists, legal experts, social scientists, and, critically, an engaged global community that understands what's at stake and participates in shaping this future.
Because the ultimate goal here isn't just, more powerful AI or more decentralized systems for their own sake.
No, the goal is to weave them together, to create something new that genuinely augments human intelligence, that fosters verifiable trust between people and systems, and that empowers collective action to solve big problems on a scale we've never managed before.
It leaves us with a pretty profound question, doesn't it? As we keep pushing the boundaries of AI autonomy, as these systems become more integrated into our lives, how much of our trust are we willing, or should we be willing, to place in that elegant, immutable, transparent code? And how much trust must we always keep firmly in the hands of vigilant, context-aware human oversight? Finding that balance. Well, it feels like a question that defines the very future of governance, and maybe the kind of world we're building together.